If you want to prove yourself, if you want to make something, and if you want something to be made a certain way, you got to be willing to do it yourself if nobody else is going to do it.
What made you think that the only way you were going to get Don't Tell Larry made was if you made it yourself?
Well, it was pretty easy to come to that conclusion because we had pitched Don't Tell Larry to a lot of people, and nobody wanted to make it. It was a dark comedy, so it's like, it's risky, it's risky, it's risky, or we didn't have a big name attached to it. So Greg and I were just like sick and tired of asking permission to make the movie, and we needed to take matters into our own hands and just make it. We believed in the movie, and so we were willing to put our own money into it to get it started, and then ask everyone we know to raise money to make it and make it ourselves. But we first tried to pitch it around. We pitched it around. It was first like a TV show, and then nobody wanted to do the TV show, even though there was some interest. And we eventually, wrote the feature script, and then pitched that around as well, and just no bites, no bites, or just being scared. It wasn't a guaranteed hit, whatever that means. But so we decided just to make it ourselves. Some of the best movies, well, I'm saying like Don't Tell Larry is the best movie. I'm proud of the movie, but I'm just saying, even George Lucas with Empire Strikes Back, he made that himself. He financed that himself. That was not a studio financed movie. I mean, there's like I just learned this a little while ago. There was all sorts of drama behind, the studio head who greenlit the movie and everything else. But, that was it was independently financed. It's like, if you believe in something enough, you got to be willing to take the risk yourself to do it, whatever that means, how you do it. Because Don't Tell Larry's is such it's a dark comedy. It's not like dark comedies are out there making money. It's not a romance movie. It's not an action movie. It's not a Marvel movie. It's not a horror movie. I mean, that's the thing we realized. If it was just a horror, and I think there was a company too they suggested, if you just make this more of a horror script, we would be interested if it was more of like a horror comedy. And we didn't want to do that. We didn't want to make a horror comedy. We wanted to make a dark comedy movie. A thriller comedy is what we wanted to do. And we wanted it to start as a comedy, and it slowly morph into this dark thriller comedy-like movie. That's what we wanted to do. And people told us it wasn't going to work. It was going to be too hard. We knew it was going to be hard. But sometimes if nobody else is going to believe into your project, do you believe in it? And yes, we did believe in it. And that's why we decided to just raise the money ourselves. It took us forever to do it, but we did it.
Do you remember sort of that exasperating moment where maybe it was like the final email or no that you heard?
Well, yeah, it's actually quite dramatic for me, that moment. What had happened is my father had passed away, and after that, I remember talking to Greg and just being like, I'm sick and tired of waiting for people to give us permission. Like, life's too short. We should I just want to make it. Let's just do it. I'm sick and tired of waiting. So that was my catalyst. And Greg was like, let's do it. He was down. So that was the catalyst for me. And that too, it's like I knew too, it's just like, I inherited a little money, not a lot, but I was like, I'm just gonna take this and put it into Larry. Life is too short. My dad lived to be 102 years old. He was very old. Like, nothing was robbed from him at all. But even him being so old, it was just so clear that life is too short. And so I was like, I just don't want to, like, I'm done waiting. I'm just done waiting. And I was working on Red Table Talk. I had this like really great job, and that was just like going and going and going. And I was like, life's too short. I'm making this movie. Like, let's do it. And so I took time off from Red Table Talk to go make the movie. But when I got done, I was able to come back to the job. Like they had an open seat for me, which was really nice of them. It only lasted for one season because then the show was over after that. But it was a risk. It's always a risk. Making movies is a risk, and you got to be willing to do the risk yourself, especially as an independent filmmaker. If you want to prove yourself, if you want to make something, and if you want something to be made a certain way, you got to be willing to do it yourself if nobody else is going to do it. If no one's going to believe it. And not that nobody believed in Greg and I. We had a lot of people out there who believed in us and who still helped us along the way. It was just like the people who could write checks, you know, for bigger production companies and studios and things like that. They weren't going to write the checks for us. So
it's interesting too, because your dad was the reason you love story, listening to him tell these stories and how he held people sort of captivated. And then to have that be the sort of the straw that broke the camel's back, where you're like, then I have to do this.
Yeah, very much so. And it's like, I think my dad would probably be very happy knowing that I just took that money and I just dumped it into making a movie. I think he would have been very happy to know that's what I did with the money. I'm glad, you know, and I'm thankful. I'm actually really thankful for that event, the way everything happened. I wanted to be a filmmaker for so long, and life gets in the way. You know, I've been editing a lot of TV shows, and especially too, you know, I was working on Red Table Talk. We won an Emmy for Best Informative Talk Show. And you know, you're working at Will Smith's production company, and you're like, "Hey, I've come a long way."
Yeah.
But it was obvious to me, not to anybody else, because this is something for me. As a child, I wanted to make movies. As a kid, I wanted to make movies. When I was in college, I was making movies, shorts and things like that. I just always wanted to make movies. And then you have this life event where someone you love finally passes away. I mean, it's no secret to anyone. We all got to die at some point. But when it finally happens, it's like it does, like something synthesizes inside of you, something about time, and then what's really at stake for you, what's really important for you. And so I'm thankful for that, because it was the catalyst for me to be like, all right, I'm done waiting. Let's put it in drive. Let's go. It's funny though, I forgot that was a catalyst. We've been talking about my dad for so long here. He was, you know, I feel like it's part of him taught me how to be a good storyteller. He didn't sit me down and be like, hey John, this is how you tell stories. It's just from observation. But it's just interesting, like that ending was a new beginning of my path to becoming a feature film maker, and it's crazy too, because I made Larry. We premiered at the Austin Film Festival. Ashley saw the film at the Austin Film Festival, and that's when she was like, oh my gosh, that's right. John gave me that romance Western script and I didn't read it yet. And she read it, and then it was like, just after that, I had talked to her, and she's like, I want to make this movie next year. And it was like Christmas. So it's just interesting how that waterfall, the dominoes just fall. So, you know, I know a lot of people like to say, there's these quotes that say, you know, 90% or 80% or 99% of success is showing up. It's true. If you show up and do the thing, you are creating opportunity for yourself. You don't know how you're doing it, but if you just show up and do it all the time, then you're allowing possibilities to happen for you. At least that's what I believe.
We've known other people whose parents have died, and they did the same thing. It was very important to them.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I think that's just, I mean, death is always a catalyst. In movies, death is a catalyst, too.
Right.
You know, I think it's like, it's a universal thing. It's a universal thing. So it just happened it did. It kind of kicked me in the butt. It's the last kick in the butt I got from my dad to get things in gear, so.
Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. Here is a complimentary question from our book Story Questions.